This week on Chicago Beer Pass, Nick and I have some special guests in the studio as we're talking all about BrewLights, happening December 6th. Grab your tickets and we'll see you there. These last 3 weeks of the week, what'd you make it to?
Yeah, because, you know, get a cork popped out, boop, it just flies like fucking 10 feet. We're like, yeah, let's do it. The legend, Mr. Pete Crowley. I love Pete Crowley, man.
How's that beer? It's what you think it is.
It'll be like the stuff you hear. Every time you go to Floyd's, all the music sounds like this. Raw, raw, raw.
Hey, and welcome to Chicago Beer Pass. I'm Brad Chmielewski.
Brad, what's up, man? I'm Nik White.
And we got some special guests in the studio with us talking about BrewLights.
Yeah, man, it's been a while, man. We have representatives from Lakeshore Beverage as well as the Lincoln Park Zoo as well. I'll let you guys introduce yourselves because I screw up names on this show. Even basic names like Kevin, and I know Kevin.
I'm Ken Schmalandt. I'm with Lakeshore Beverage.
I'm Pat O'Hara. I'm with the auxiliary board of Lincoln Park Zoo. So it's sort of a junior fundraising board that puts on events and tries to raise the zoo's profile, especially among, call them 25 to 40-year-olds. So
nice.
Just like everyone in this room.
BrewLights is on December 6th, Brad.
Right.
Yeah.
So next week.
Wow.
Right?
Is that next week?
Is it next week?
It's next week.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Come on.
Yeah, next Thursday. Next Thursday.
December is here.
You know, man, it's a blur, man. You know, you go from Black Friday to what? To December, right?
You go from
Fobab
to Blackout Wednesday to Thanksgiving to Black Friday.
Yeah. 1 minute is Fobab, next minute is December.
Yep, that's what happens.
Man. Oh, and then they brought treats, man. Mm-hmm. Like 5 of them.
So you're continuing that blur of through the rest till BrewLights.
Dude, I feel like such a heroin addict. Dude, yeah, I don't know, man.
So what are you itching for? We got.
Let's see. I think well Kevin arranged them, right? So let's run them off for the people. We got Trumer Pills, and these are all that'll be at the party,
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
All right. So Trumer Pills, an IPA from Founders. What's that? Azaka. The Christmas Ale from Bell's, Farmhouse Ale from Boulevard, and the wheat wine, the
Bourbon County Stout
wheat wine from Goose BCS.
I know where you'd start, but we should probably start with the pills.
Something light and easy.
We'll follow the order.
Something light and easy.
Cool. And we have the BrewLights little mugs.
Yeah, right on. Dig it. Branded on the front side with Lincoln Park Zoo and BrewLights. How many BrewLights has it been so far, man?
So this is our 5th year. It's grown obviously since we started. We think we've learned a bit along the way, being a fundraising board and a zoo. You know, beer isn't necessarily our specialty, or it wasn't in the beginning, but we've been lucky to have good partners like Lakeshore that can kind of show us the way.
Yeah. I say you guys got the hang of it, man. It's been 5 years running, and then the lights part was always there, and then the beer part was added to the lights.
Yeah, so the lights part's been going for 24 years, I want to say.
Wow.
So they've been doing that forever. That's put on by ComEd. That's free anytime, or not anytime, from November to December, minus a couple nights that are specifically for events. Like ours is one night where unfortunately it's closed to the public, but you can obviously buy a ticket and come to our event. Mm-hmm. I think there's a couple other events, but ours is, in my mind, the best one. We're going to have 20 beers on tap for everyone to sample. Mm-hmm. We're going to have, it's a wide variety. It's what we see in front of us. It's Alaskan Brewing Company. It's Bell's, Boulevard, Founders, Goose Island, Moody Tongue, which is down in like Bridgeport, mm-hmm. Shiner, Surly, Sweetwater, Trumer, and then we have cider for anyone that would prefer something a little bit lighter than our regular 9% offering.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You went last. Did you go last year or the year before?
Like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was excited to see the Jolly Monk on that Belgian.
Oh, Saint Bernardus.
Yeah, I think either Saint Bernardus or one of those big Christmas ales, or maybe Delirium Tremens was there. Mm-hmm. That's always fun to see there. Mm-hmm. Oh, but then the lights are cool, but I never made it to the lights, right? I never made it to the lights, and then like there's beer now, so it's like, man,
You could do both.
you could do both. It's actually like it would get somebody like me out to go see the lights, and it's fun. It's fun because there's so many displays and so much cool stuff going on with lights.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the lights, there's the beer, there's no strollers. There's a
Right.
21 and over event. So like normally if you go on a regular Tuesday or whatever to Zoo Lights, there's going to be a lot of families, and look, kids are great.
Makes sense.
Strollers kind of clog up the hallways if you're trying to walk through the zoo, which
Yeah.
it's kind of one of our pluses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you know what sucks for Chicago, as much as it's a cold weather city, like we don't really get a lot of outdoor stuff like this, beer centric stuff. Like you go to Michigan, they party in I think their guild parties at like a baseball stadium in the middle of winter in like Grand Rapids. We don't get a lot of that down here, so you got an outdoor winter event in Chicago.
Yeah,
So I can dig that.
and during the summer, these beer fests are every weekend. There's 3 to choose from every weekend. You get a lot of options.
Right.
We're trying to, there's people have stuff going on. It's the holidays. There's work Christmas parties. There's whatever it may be. But, we want to give people a nice, fun, beer-focused event that is also festive in the holidays and when there might not be quite as much going on in that general arena.
Yeah, makes sense.
Right on.
Nice.
Right on.
And so how's it evolved over the years? Like from the first time to now? Like is it like I don't know, just is it more zoo, more people, more beer? Like what's been the like growth for it?
More zoo, more people, more beer.
You're joking about it, but it is. It's more everything. It's
monkeys.
We used to have I don't know, a dozen beers. Now we have 20, and you get 12 sampling tickets when you get in there, which some people like my friends are degenerates and say 12's not nearly enough. And when they're 9% ABV beers, 12 tickets is plenty for most people. So it's grown in number of beers, it's grown in number of attendees, but it's also grown in terms of stations. When we started, we had 5 stations.
Yeah.
And like I said, we're not event guys. We're fundraising and working at the zoo, and so we realized, okay, rather than have five like stations, we'd do much better to have 15. This year we're going to have 17 or 18 stations around the zoo, and even it's the zoo has grown. They've done a lot, especially on the north side. Has been totally revamped, where they have a new exhibit with a polar bear who might be hibernating at this point, but he exists. There's a new exhibit with penguins. So, for a couple of years that we had this event, the north section of the zoo was closed off because there was so much construction going on. But now we're happy to have that available. So the zoo has grown.
How many people can you fit in the zoo? Because I know some of those parties get really big. Like I can imagine 4th of July weekend's pretty big over there.
Yeah, we've for other events we've hit 35,000.
Holy fuck!
Yeah, so it's
that's more than like Wrigley.
Yeah,
right. Those are like really field numbers, man.
Man, that'd be nuts. Okay.
BrewLights generally gets around 5,000.
Right.
So there's people. It's not horribly crowded.
crazy.
We don't want to make it horribly crowded. It kind of ruins the guest experience.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still it's a good atmosphere.
And then, so you mentioned the stations. As you venture through the zoo, are they just outside or some inside the exhibits? Like, how much is everything open? Pretty much.
Yeah, 17, right? That sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
So the stations are outside.
Yeah.
But the animal houses are open.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the animals are asleep. Some are nocturnal. Some, there are some animals that you might not actually see if you went to the zoo every single day, just because they're nocturnal animals.
Okay.
Or you'd see these, like a normal animal that you might see during the day, but you get to see its nighttime routine or habit or whatever it might be. So it's kind of seeing a different setting of the same zoo that you've been to 100 times.
That makes sense. I haven't been to the zoo in a while, so I'm pretty excited.
Last 2 times I've been to the zoo was BrewLights.
What's that?
Yeah, I think BrewLights and the one over the summer, which I think is a Seago party.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's summertime beer event.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like the zoo's a nonprofit.
The zoo's a nonprofit. It's free. I mean, BrewLights cost money, but if you just want to go to the zoo, it's free. It's one of only 3 free zoos in the country.
No shit. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So like you don't think I grew up in the area, so like it's like, oh yeah, it's a zoo, it's free, you have it. You know, it's normal. It's normal to me, but it's really rare. It's super rare. Like it's not a normal thing. Normally, you know, part of what the zoo's mission is and what we do is, and with our goal of fundraising is to keep the zoo free, because we realize it is such a unique institution that, you know, if you're a family of 5 and you want to go to a zoo and it costs $20 and parking is another like $30 or whatever, like that's
food.
Yeah, food. Like that's an expensive trip for a family, and that makes it less accessible. So what we want to do is raise money on behalf of the zoo so that they don't have to charge admission. And so all the proceeds from this event go toward the zoo, specifically this new Pride of Chicago campaign, which the zoo is running to build new buildings, to fund their operations, all these things. But yeah, all proceeds go back to the zoo.
Nice. But yeah, it's awesome like having the zoo there, because there was times in the summer where I remember just biking through. Basically, you cut through the zoo to get to the lake. You can't be like, oh, let me check on, see what's happening here. Okay. Yeah. You went to the zoo too. So it's kind of a fun, like, because it's free, you can dip in at those moments where it's just like, oh, let's see, anything's out right now? No, or yes, and then you kind of take some pictures and you move on.
Yeah,
so.
and if it's cold and like not a lot of things are out, well, you're not out $25 you know, in half an hour. You just say, oh, I'll come back next time.
Oh. Yeah, it's interesting too because it's scenic. You know, it's a scenic zoo, and then it's so close to the lake in the summer, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's really cool that it sits where it does. And it looks the way it does. Yeah.
So then, how did BrewLights come to be? Like, whose idea was this to, like, basically raise money in this fashion?
Yeah, so it's the auxiliary board, which we put on 3 events a year. 2 are fundraisers, 1's a community outreach. So prior to BrewLights, we had 2. We had 2 events. We had zoology, which is kind of like a formal gala type of thing in the spring. We have Spooky Zoo, which is for like Halloween. It's like trick-or-treating at the zoo for kids.
Yeah, okay.
And then this is our 3rd event. So again, only 5 years old. So it's our newest one. And it all came about because we trying to think of more ways that we can raise money.
Yeah.
And how can we leverage BrewLights, because BrewLights is awesome. BrewLights has 2.5 million Christmas lights or something like that. Like I mean, just an incomprehensible amount of Christmas lights.
I've never even gone to that. So I'm like, always like, damn, that was pretty nice, especially when it snows like a little bit. Like we got today.
Yeah, it looks great. And so, you know, how that was kind of thought was, how can we use that to make a new unique event? We have, you know, if there's a lot of boards out there that say, hey, we're having a fundraiser at the, I don't know, XYZ hotel ballroom, which is fine, but it's a lot cooler to be able to do that too.
Right. And I know a lot of beer fests, like, they need that nonprofit. Is that like that's an Illinois thing, or that's just something that often comes up? They need to work with a nonprofit for that liquor license. It's like a weird loophole thing in the like planning, I think. So it's perfect, like, for you guys to plan it versus the beer promoter being like, oh, we want to do this. Oh crap, who are we gonna work with? And then so you approach Lakeshore as that, or how did that relationship?
That's right, because, you know, it didn't have to necessarily be Lakeshore, right? It could
have been just breweries.
In fact, previously it wasn't Lakeshore. This year we're really excited to have Lakeshore on board because they know their stuff about putting these events on. Like I said, we've learned some over the last few years, but, you know, they're the experts.
Yeah, this is our first year being involved with BrewLights. Obviously, we do a ton of beer festivals, or participate in a ton of different beer festivals.
I want to say it was Glenn's last year.
Yeah, correct, yeah. And so, yeah, just this last year alone, our special events team put on, or helped with, over 300 different special events, from street fairs to Lollapalooza. So really excited to be part of BrewLights, really excited to, you know, give back and be a part of the community, which Lincoln Park Zoo is doing a great job of. And yeah, we've loved being a part of it so far. It hasn't even happened yet, but I'll be planning and promotion.
It hasn't even happened yet, man.
But yeah, this is kind of a small selection of what we'll have. We'll have, like Pat said, 20 different beers. we just finalized too a barrel-aged pop-up station that'll be happening too. So there'll be 7 different barrel-aged beers happening there, and those will be kind of a first come, first serve offering, and yeah, we're like really excited about it.
That'll be quite refreshing, right? Because it gets cold.
Yeah,
it's December. What are you gonna do? It's December, right? Oh, but yeah, between like the barrel aged stations and those houses, the animal houses, it all kind of works itself out, you know.
Yeah, and there's like live music in a couple of the houses. There's a Santa you can go, check to make sure which list you're on. You can go say hi. But there's
it's probably awkward drunk pictures of people with Santa.
Santa, let's do it again.
Yeah, I believe.
But yeah, it's a great time. I mean, people are cold. You're pumping them full of heavy Christmas ales, and they're having a good time.
Speaking of Christmas ales, man, this Bell's one is a Scotch ale.
Yeah, I didn't
think I ever do that.
Yeah, I was like tasting it. I was like, that's odd for a Christmas ale. You think of like those nutmegs and those spices.
More
and
of
it's like
winter warmer, yeah. But this is
what am I getting here? Yeah.
I want to say they've changed. Maybe at one point it used to be more of your traditional winter warmer English style, and now it's just a Scotch ale.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and see when that switched. I also feel like it used to be maybe blue.
Are you thinking? But Great Lakes.
You might be thinking winter white.
Oh, maybe.
Which is a seasonal of theirs, which is a Belgian style wheat beer that comes out at the same time, and so it's a little bit confusing, but.
We were just drinking some Bell's Best Brown.
Yeah, we were drinking Bell's heavy on the show lately. I think we did because we do a tasting sometimes after the show.
Okay.
And Bell's Brown Ale came up in the tasting.
Okay.
It was cool to see.
Forget how solid Bell's beers are.
Yeah. Because they very rarely change their logos, right? It's the same look every year. But
yeah, they're sort of doing a little bit of a refresh. If you've seen some of their new stuff that's been announced, like they're. Next year in 2019, they're doing a New England style hazy IPA that kind of has a different look and feel to it. Same logo as all their other stuff, but I think they're kind of getting to a point where they start to change a little bit of their look to become younger in a sense, but still keep obviously Christmas ale kind of has that traditional look, and Winter White and Best Brown and Oberon, those kind of like. Pillars of Bell's, you might say. Right. Amber Ale.
It's got to almost be that. In Michigan, there's this like classic, like
yes.
It's like a welcoming like treat home when people go back for the holidays, or just like you're like, oh, I'm home, I'm drinking Bell's or something like that. It just feels good. It feels right.
Like Two Hearted, obviously. That's like
I think that's
tribute.
Was that like the?
That's
was that number one rated beer for a while?
Yeah.
2 years running now.
Yeah.
From
Beer Advocate
Association. Yeah.
Yeah, Two Heart is kind of perfect. It really is, man. It's always been one of my favorite beers, man, for sure. What's the which one of these brands is keeping you busy over there? I know you got a ton of brands over at Lakeshore, right? I'm guessing like the Founders and the Gooses and maybe do you still have Brooklyn over there?
We do not.
Brooklyn
no.
And I want to say Surly. It was like a swap or something.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
Right.
So we've had Surly this whole 2018, excuse me. Goose right now with BCS release this past weekend.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff, a lot of hands on deck for that from our whole operations team, getting the beer to where it needs to be for those Wednesday and Friday releases. Is a whole puzzle that needs to come together. Yeah. And then obviously on the sales and marketing side of it, making sure people know when and where those are happening. So that's sort of my end of it. But yeah, Goose keeps us busy.
You want to open up the Goose since we're talking about it? We'll skip the Boulevard. We'll come back to it.
It'll be a good way to clean things.
Good call. Yeah, wheat wine. I'm really excited about it. You guys had it at the tasting.
Yeah, I think we saw you were there, right?
At the tasting at the brew house, but I think it's sort of a sleeper pick of the 2018 lineup, just because wheat wine doesn't really get much PR as a style. I couldn't even name another wheat wine. Actually.
Man, I think Boo Goop, McKellar, and Floyd's from like 5-6 years ago.
Dog, Hair of the Dog might have a wheat wine too.
But it's very short list to your point. Very short list.
And so, this is still readily available as of this afternoon when I bought this. So
I feel like that could be a trend for a lot of these beers, especially here in Chicago, that you may see them around a little bit. If that's some of these places charging too much for what they are,
like Galleria, right off the brown line, they want you to buy 4 OGs and they'll give you this variant. But after you buy the 4 OGs, you got to spend $50 on the variant.
Wow.
Man,
I think it's like a $24 play, like suggested price. I
didn't even
like
peek into Miskas today, but they usually have them, and they charge a little more for it.
I
but
could go for
that's a Miskas way.
$2 to $5, I get that. 50, you can go scratch. I need to go tell somebody. I need to rat you out at that point. That's bullshit. But yeah, man, these fucking barley wine and wheat wine. We all love UCS. Obviously, we love the hunt. The Easter egg hunt for it. But like the drinkability on it is low compared to these, and that's why I did this one. Like, higher drinkability.
Yeah, Pat's first time having BCS.
Yeah.
Right now?
No, Friday.
Oh.
Yeah, this weekend.
Black Friday, I was over at Binny's.
Okay, so did you wait in line? No, you just were there.
No, I was just there. I was heading over to Best Buy, and I was like, you know what? Binny's is right here. I might get lucky, and I got lucky.
So what'd you get? Just regular?
Yeah, just the regular.
Okay.
Got a 12 pack.
What'd you think? You got a 12 pack? Just a 12 pack. The
whole case at that point.
Yeah. Well, I figure I'm going over to a Thanksgiving, like a second Thanksgiving party.
Right.
Today.
Yeah.
I'll have some for later that I'll hang on to.
Yeah.
Having some friends in town next week that they can. I'll find time.
They make great gifts.
They make great gifts.
Perfect. Fits perfectly in a stocking.
So what'd you think first time having it?
It was obviously it was awesome, but it was it was not what I expected. Just because it almost drinks more like a wine than like a beer, where it's strong, but it also it's got so many different flavors and such a complex profile that you don't find very often.
Yeah,
was my take.
I went hunting.
Yeah, of course. I knew you would.
But I called Walgreens. They're like, "Yeah, come through. We got it." I get there. It's 2017, not 2018.
Ooh.
And it's like $2 cheaper though. So it's like $10.99. I'm like, I'll take the 2017. Yeah.
Add it to the cellar.
Yeah, I got a couple. I tried one, and I'm like, man, all that leather and oak and tannins are all coming forward. So it was surprisingly not syrupy at all. It was you were talking about the wine, and I was like, man, this reminds me more of that. It was interesting. I was surprised at how much I liked the licorice and those other flavors that aren't like bourbon and fudge, right? The bourbon and the fudge was in the back, but it was still all held together nicely. I was like, huh.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah, I was surprised. I thought that would happen a few years later. It happened a year later.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you went to one of the tastings Friday?
Wednesday.
Oh.
Wednesday. Yeah, so Black Wednesday, I was down at Timothy O'Toole's, not too far from Navy Pier.
Our spot side door.
Oh, yeah, right
there.
Yeah, so I went down there, and they had they rolled everything out. I gotta stop being a grumpy old man. Everyone rolls things out in an hourly fashion for these, right?
Yeah.
That escaped me when I was posting about it, but they had this thing.
Did you stick around for all of them?
Well, because it was a 5-ounce pour, and I want to say it was was it $9 for the 5-ounce pour or something like that? Okay. So if I'd have stuck around for all 8, we're in plus tip. We're looking at a $90 play. I'm like, yeah, not on Wednesday. Let's get the fuck out of here after prop.
Okay.
No, reserve. Sorry, reserve.
Okay.
I think they saved prop for last.
Okay.
So I ended up with Bramble, reserve, OG wheat wine.
Nice.
Okay.
And then I got out of there. Yeah, it was fun, but they had a DJ, and the DJ would remind you every song that you gotta go get this beer, this Bramble Rye. And it was Harry. I'm like, because I've been to O'Toole's, man. We interviewed the founders of Founders at O'Toole's.
Oh, okay.
We interviewed some moonshine guys at O'Toole's. They're friends of ours. We like O'Toole's. But that was so weird, man. I felt like I was at a strip club, man. And every time a beer would go on tap, it was almost like coming to the stage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I was like,
Was it busy?
yeah, it was all the way packed. Gave you a nice little placemat and tasters.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
So it was cool. I had a good time. Minus the DJ.
Minus
The DJ.
But there was tappings like all over the city, right?
There were, on Wednesday in the city, there's O'Toole's, Sheffield's, and then Fountainhead are kind of the three official ones on Wednesday. And then Friday, there's countless tappings happening both in the city and in suburbs. Obviously, the Benny's Lincoln Park release is kind of the big marquee one.
Because they got taps there now, right? I wonder if they...
Oh, sorry, yeah. I guess they don't do a tapping there necessarily, just as far as the bottle release.
They should do a tapping.
They got a gorgeous...
They do. They use that room for a lot of the prep, basically, that goes into the whole release.
All right.
But it is a beautiful room. I think, an underutilized room, too, almost.
See, I didn't make it out for the tappings on Wednesday because I went to the Glug release at Simon's.
Wow,
So,
you are into this glug.
I had to go to that. Glug gets released the day before Thanksgiving at Simon's, so...
That's funny. I think we were talking about glug slushies in the summer for what's that?
Mayfest.
Midsummer Fest?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Midsummer Fest.
And Edgewater?
Is that a Swedish drink?
Yeah.
Glug?
It's
Great.
like spiced wine. So,
Okay.
Yeah. It's, heavy on the booze, too. just like Bourbon County.
Glug slushies are nice, man. I'm sure that was fun.
Oh, yeah, that was good, yeah.
Um,
How's been the reception for Bourbon County this year? Like, has it been more so than previous years? Or there's 8 variants this year, so I feel
I think
like
the most
There's
ever.
8.
almost too many. I don't know, it's a lot.
I think there's something for everybody this
Yeah.
year. Some of the variants have pretty strong, bold flavors: bramble rye, midnight orange with coffee barley wine, even. And so I think there's a good spectrum on it this year, as far as if your tastes are different, which everyone's are. There's a variant for you. So.
What were you vibing on the night we saw you at the preview?
I love the wheat wine.
Yeah.
I think wheat wine. I love the reserve.
Yeah.
Although hard to find.
They were
love
saying
the
that
reserve.
on O'Toole's it was on one of only 6 kegs in the state.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
That's our friend on the microphone.
The DJ?
The DJ. I was like, huh.
I think he might be misinformed.
You can throw out. That's the DJ life. You can say whatever.
Maybe
you
that
want.
night there were
There's
6
no one
kegs.
By the time we get to round 5, all bets are off on what the DJ said. Man.
Yeah, I think I really like the wheat wine. It's very smooth. Regular is always, or original, is always great, and so easy to find these days, which is, I think a good thing overall. It's introducing more people to it at the end of the day, which is great. I tend to lean away from Bramble and Midnight Orange. Those aren't really my favorites, but for some people, those are.
Yeah, I think the night of.
I was feeling
really
Bramble.
You loved the Bramble.
That was good.
Yeah.
I think it might have been the ice cream with the raspberries. I was like, this is perfect.
I think that night it was coffee for me. Coffee barley wine.
Coffee barley wine. Yeah.
This is. I hate the term well integrated because those wine people use that with the Ely and they're like well integrated. But it was it was good. It was constructed very nicely. It was but the night at O'Toole's I think Bramble rose for me.
Did it?
Bramble.
So maybe
Okay.
I was right.
I mean, and then he brought up a good point the night of. He was like, man, out of the 8 I had, the one I finished the first was Bramble. So that's my favorite. I was like, yeah, that's kind of true. Yeah. I wanted to stick around for vanilla
measure.
or prop.
Yeah, vanilla, I think a lot of people really are enjoying. Again, pretty strong vanilla characteristics on it. That one I think will be great as it develops over time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I sit in front of a computer most of the day, and so I see kind of the response on Twitter and Instagram, and for the most part, people are, I think, really excited about this year. And
it seems like I think a new wave will get them this Friday. A lot of I think Whole Foods gets them on Friday this week.
Yes,
and
yeah.
Other
And
businesses.
some businesses get them and they hold on to them and they will release them whenever they want to. I know a lot of people, wait to the week after or sometime in December where there's a little less clutter going on. They can kind of be like the only release that day or that weekend. Yeah. Because a lot of them have already happened this past weekend.
Because I was at, I think it was Whole Foods on Friday, and it made sense that they would wait a week because it's like, well, Binny's is right there. Why?
Right.
We don't want people at Binny's and then rushing over here to try to get it too. So like a new group of people and just like let everyone have it. Like one dude does not need like 40 bottles. Right. Like your Instagram photo might look great. You don't need it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nick.
some more bourbon.
I was with you too up to that point. A lot of Jules were letting it fly. It just sounds like just following the feeds. It sounded like you could roll into Jules and get a whole case of like orange.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
You get a whole case of.
Sir Jules, like, get this out of here. We want other stuff.
We're understaffed. We fired a lot of people. Get this out of here. Take it off.
Jules, where I picked up the sweet wine, and they had plenty available.
You're going out and having to pick him up too, and you're there at the source.
Yeah, Bourbon County. It's a little hard to put in a product request for Bourbon County sample request, but it's all okay.
Nice. So then at BrewLights, we're gonna see which one are we gonna see, or
we'll have 6 of the variants.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Yep. Yeah. So we'll have original, midnight orange, bramble, vanilla, coffee barley wine, and wheat wine.
Do you expect a line? Have you prepared for a line for those?
Absolutely. So that's what I was talking about. We're going to have the barrel aged station, and just to be, very clear, limited quantities of each of these. Okay. So everything else we won't run out. It won't happen. We'll have plenty. Limited quantities of each of those 6 Bourbon County stouts at a separate station, plus some of the founders KBS, which used to be called Kentucky Breakfast Stout, but they just rebranded. So that's our sort of barrel aged section.
Like you can't. It's not from Kentucky, or CBS is not from Canada, so you can't call it that or say something like that, right?
Yeah, Kentucky shouldn't be allowed to say that.
So
KBS will be there.
Yeah, but to answer your question, there will be a line, limited quantities available. But hey, if that's how you want to spend your night and you want to get 5 samples, hey, if you want to, go pick up a beer at a regular tent, drink that while you're in line for one of the Bourbon County options. That sounds like a good plan to me.
Nice. Is everyone pouring? Do they work at the zoo? Are they volunteers? Are they representatives of the brewery? Like
they're all volunteers.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's the auxiliary board. It's our friends. It's people that it's volunteer groups throughout the city. We do have logistical support from Lakeshore, but but some legal thing you guys can't serve beer, so we're the ones that be handing you beer.
Okay.
But in terms of manning the pub trailer and making sure that everything's on a cold plate, that's a little bit beyond our capabilities. Again, we're happy to be with the experts.
Right. We'll have draft technicians throughout the event.
I've never planned an event, so I don't know anything that goes into having to plan one. So
imagine like you're throwing a party and you're like, we just need like a keg and a tap. This is 18 stations times 7 beers per station, so whatever that gets you to number of taps, it's a logistical problem that I don't deal with on a regular Tuesday.
I like the ice carving station at that thing.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty good.
Yeah, a guy with a chainsaw carving a big block of ice into like an alligator or something.
I'm like easily excited by this guy. Until I run out of beer, I'm gonna watch this dude carve up the snowman.
Yeah, so we're gonna have the ice carving. We have the carousel open.
And the carousel.
That's my wife's favorite part.
Yeah,
she
carousel's good.
Loves the carousel. It's magical. You're on a carousel surrounded by Christmas lights.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully
semi-drunk.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I haven't looked at what the weather would be, but hopefully it's not too bad.
Yeah.
But
if it's above like 20, we call it a win.
Yeah.
Because it's bearable. Yeah. We're all in Chicago. It's fine. We can survive. Mm-hmm. It'd be great if it was, maybe close to like 32 with just light, the soft, like magical, fluffy snow coming down. But we're not picky. We just want it to be not below 0.
Yeah. Where your beer's freezing to your like mustache and beer, just like crystals. It's not good.
It's almost like, if you're out like tailgating at a Bears game at Soldier Field like in December, it's great because your beer doesn't get warm when you're just sitting there. You can sit there and enjoy it. So when it's it's cold, you can enjoy your beer and not feel like it's gonna go warm on you.
For sure, yeah. Nice, awesome.
Right on.
So tickets are still available.
Oh yeah,
yes.
We should dive into tickets are
available. Tickets are available online, lpzoo.org/BrewLights.
Mm-hmm.
Brew like, brew like a beer.
like brew.
Lights.
BREW.
I don't mean to be awkward.
I like how we're like really we're diving into the word brew. Like
I like the other way.
Like that's how we spell this brew.
But yeah, it's a URL. I don't want to mess this up. This is like the only way I can direct people to this. We're on, or click through like Facebook, or Google it. And there's one in DC and we have one here. So make sure you don't buy tickets to the one in DC because unless you're buying a plane ticket too.
Is DC the other zoo that's free or
no? They just stole our idea.
Took it.
Yeah. Which
hey, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
over in Chicago.
We think it's a good idea. It's been over for 5 years, so it's a success. But yeah, so tickets to I gotta put my little plug in.
Yeah.
Tickets are online. They're $49. Get you 12 samples plus, all around the zoo, access to everything, including the entertainment. Doesn't get you any food, which we have food available because again, if you're serving beer for 4.5 hours. We should have food. So we got food.
It starts at is it 5 or 6?
5:30.
So you can grab a bite if you need to on the way.
Yeah.
5:30. Last call's at 9.
Yep,
I believe.
Yeah.
So that's a fair amount of time to drink 12 samples of beer.
Oh, for sure.
All the beer, the breweries are online. So if you're interested, you can go take a look and plot your course. The way we have it set up is there's different stations with different kinds of beer. Mm-hmm. So the idea being, if you want you can look at your map and say, oh, I really want this Moody Tongue. I think we have one of the like a nectarine IPA or something like that from Moody Tongue.
That's a good beer.
I like that one.
Well, okay, so then I see that's at the red station, and you look at your map and you say, here are the 6 red stations. You pop on over to the one you want, or if you're like me, you just kind of walk in a circle around the zoo and say, oh, that's where the snow leopard is. That's kind of cool, and there happens to be a beer station here, so I'm gonna get a beer station.
That's how I live.
Kind of mosey through it, I think.
Yeah, yeah. We do have designated driver tickets, so for the responsible members of the family. $20 gets you free hot chocolate, or not free hot chocolate. You're paying for $20 to get in, but you get hot chocolate for it. If you have a group of folks, you can get 15 or more tickets for $35 a pop.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
So
as compared to like 50, you said 49, right?
Yeah, 49.
Nice.
It's almost like I did company outing thing too.
And we've heard some of those happening. Bars, meeting at the bar, getting on a bus, heading down to BrewLights. So
tell your coworkers, hey, Thursday I should know this. Thursday the 6th. I just know it's Thursday.
It's not too far away from that holiday Christmas party season too, right? You can just get a jump on that and do your Christmas holiday
right.
party.
You do dinner. You go do this, and then you kind of see what people are feeling. Depends on your company, right?
Yeah, depends. Yeah, depends if you
go
like
to the
the coworkers.
cocktail.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah. That's a good idea, though. The group rate.
Yeah,
I never had to know that.
Yeah, and it's more fun if you're there with a group. It's great to go with your wife or husband or whatever it is. But if you can go there with a big group, it's a lot of fun. That's what my wife does. She gets a whole big group of friends to go, and they have a grand old time while I work.
And laugh and then you have to drive her home.
Yeah. No, they even have like a tradition where they'll go over to my sister-in-law's place and watch The Grinch afterwards. So
man, so it's 5 years in, it's now become like a holiday tradition thing for people.
Yeah,
that's
so
awesome.
we have a volunteer after party for the event, so I'll go eat some pizza and
Okay.
try to catch up, and then take an Uber over to
See
catch the
the
last half hour of
The Grinch.
the animated Grinch, not Jim Carrey's Grinch.
Yeah,
the
the whole
animated
time I was
Grinch.
thinking it was that one.
But now there's the new Grinch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got the pistachio ads, this Grinch.
God, I don't know.
I've
There's
seen
just,
the ads.
Yeah, it's funny stuff.
There's
Yeah.
just now 3 Grinches. Like, how do you
How do you
how do you
retell the story.
Yeah, how do you tell like, well, which Grinch were you watching? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I just get excited about events like Brewers Eve and BrewLights because we need more winter stuff. And you guys talked about it too in the summer. There's a lot going on. So I'm just excited that somebody is in agreement with me that we need to party hard when it's cold out. You know, it's a big deal. You know, big parties in the summer.
And you get a good lineup from Lakeshore. That's we focus on Chicago beer, and we often say like we miss out on a lot of beers because we mainly focus on Chicago. So we try to on the YouTube channel talk about Bell's and do other beers.
That's true.
That we don't necessarily talk about on the show. So that's what's nice about going to events that aren't Chicago focused.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we in this lineup you'll see a lot of kind of the strong regional breweries in the Midwest with Bell's, Founders, Surly out of Minneapolis, St. Paul area, Boulevard from Kansas City making great beers. Tank 7, I was just looking today. Tank 7 was the 7th best beer from Craft Beer and Brewing Magazine this year. Appropriate that it's number 7.
And their wheat wine was always like the top selling wheat wine in the region.
Yeah.
Well, it makes sense. You got to hit the
Wheat
highlights
wine.
because the audience for BrewLights is probably newer to craft beer. They're not the uber nerds, right?
Right.
They're not looking for that variant that can only get tapped there.
Right. So you'll see. That's why I'm really excited about this lineup is because it speaks to that kind of, tried craft beer, interested in craft beer consumer, but then, we've got the barrel-aged pop-up station with 6 BCS variants that, more of a craft beer nerd might be
We got
interested
enough
in.
to introduce you if you want
Right.
on this.
Yeah.
If
And
you
come
want to wait
along
in
this long
lines,
journey.
Yeah.
here's the line to wait in. This will be your life.
Let's say
for
people
the
are
next 5
waiting in line
years.
for beer. Who does that?
But no, that's exactly right. We want to get the folks that like all day IPA, but we also want to try to get the folks that are a little more targeted with their beer selection, and honestly, guys like you that really know what you're looking for, and you can try to get something that's a little more unique. Kevin touched on it that we have a lot of regional stuff, but we also tried to have some national stuff that might be harder to find. Where are you going to find a beer from like Alaskan Brewing Company in Chicago?
Right.
It's tough. So if not that necessarily people are out there saying they've been banging down the door for Alaskan, but they can come to our event and they can try it because it's a tasting event. It's not just hey, we're going to the street festival that serves Bud Light. It's they can come here and they can try something that they haven't tried before.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that IPA from. I was surprised at the white and the IPA from Alaskan.
Well, Alaskan would win awards for their
The smoked porter.
Smoked
Smoked
porter.
porter.
Years.
Yes.
Oh, man, that beer.
I think like it.
Yeah.
Is that gonna be there?
It will
Oh.
not. It was on the table, but it will not.
Yeah. Because you gotta have balance in your lineup.
Yeah.
So.
So we will have white,
Bear's
which has the polar bear on it, which is fitting for Lincoln Park Zoo, and then their amber, which is kind of their horse that they.
No, my wife's from Alaska, so.
Okay.
We were drinking Alaskan way before it came to Chicago.
Yeah, we're excited to have them. They launched here last fall.
Frontier.
At Frontier, yeah.
I think
Frontier.
you were there.
Yep. Frontier, we kind of had a week of events, but that was kind of a big one there. And yeah, they've been a great partner for us, and kind of something like Pat said, unique, a little more. I wouldn't say like exotic, but it has that allure of being from glacier-fed waters in Alaska, and so.
And if you're mainly drinking Chicago beer, as you often are in Chicago, to go somewhere and be like, well, let me just see what else is out there. Like that's what I love about some of these beer fests. It's like, well, hey, let's see what Blue Moon offers. Let's see what Founders is doing right now. Let's do this. So, it's nice.
True. I'm like, he said it all when he said it. I didn't have anything to add to that. Yeah, they were talking about the Alaskan boys, and they were saying at that frontier party, like how, these fishermen that would do their thing in Alaska would go to, they live in like the Northwest, Portland and Seattle, and they would request these beers. Like, you don't have this beer? Like, what do you mean you don't have this beer? And that actually kickstarted a lot of why they started bringing beer to those cities in the Northwest.
Okay, yeah.
And how it all kind of started.
Okay, yeah. Seattle's a big hub for them. Maybe their biggest market outside of Alaska, I would say.
Sure,
and
yeah. I'm sure it's probably bigger than the Alaska market because
Yeah.
there's way less people.
Yeah. That's a town that gets it. I think they go like...
Alaska or Seattle?
No, Seattle. not Alaska.
Alaska's a state.
I cannot speak to Alaska, but Seattle, I know they get a huge, like 50% all beers craft up there or something like that.
Really? It's that much?
Yeah.
And I remember going in. There was not a lot of
It
options.
didn't feel that way.
Yeah, but
A lot of Rainier up in Seattle,
Yeah,
which is basically like the old style of Seattle.
I'm like
I think.
blanking on the brewery name. That was I don't know. It's been a while since I've been to Seattle.
Yeah, I know Fremont is big out of there.
Mm-hmm. Well, now you have Brews, or you have just so many like hazy guys out there now. Yeah. So, damn. All right. Back to Chicago.
Yeah.
All right.
What else we got on BrewLights, man?
BrewLights Thursday. Get your tickets.
December 6th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 5:30.
5:30.
We'll be there.
That sounds fun. Yeah.
We'll have celebrities there. You guys can sign autographs.
Santa will be there.
Chicago Zoller is gonna be there.
Zola will be there. All I Want for Christmas from Mariah Carey usually plays, and the big light display that blinks and changes to the tunes of the song is the one that they always
Is that
play.
there?
South Lawn.
Is he making up?
No. From like volunteers hate it.
I'm here for all the Mariah Carey.
Because it's like a 1 minute like snippet, and there's like 5 of these, and they play on repeat, and so the volunteers just go crazy. I mean, it'd be like working.
It's like a bad dream.
Yeah, it's like
you're serving over there.
It's like working retail where you're like, you hear the same soundtrack on repeat for 4 hours straight.
Yeah.
You start to hate it. But we're going to play it. Because we
go.
have to, because it's a tradition at this point. But the zoo also has, they just did like a whole big revamp where they built a new visitor center. Mm-hmm. They installed a sound system around the entire zoo. So we're going to have music in areas besides just that South Lawn part. And we're going to have some live music in some of the animal houses.
Nice.
So if you get a beer, you're cold, you've been standing outside for a while, bring it inside, listen to some music. As soon as you're done, go outside, get a new one, come back in, warm up. That seems like a good plan of attack.
Cool.
Yeah, live music, ice sculpting, animal houses,
Beer.
Lots of beer,
and lots of lights.
Yeah.
It's a really good indoor-outdoor play because it might be cold, but that doesn't matter because there's a lot of indoor stuff going on too.
Cool.
So,
All right. Grab your tickets, and we'll see you there.
right on.
Yeah. Take care.
Oh, yeah, thank you guys for coming out.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, this is great. This is a lot of fun.
Right on.
Thanks for drinking beer with us.
Cheers.
Cheers.